Welcome to the ORCID US Community Guide to ORCID and SciENcv. If you are applying for any grants from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, or the National Science Foundation, NSF, you will need to use SciENcv to create a biosketch. Using ORCID and SciENcv together will save you time and make your life easier. This video covers a brief intro to ORCID, a tutorial on how to add basic information to your ORCID record, and how to connect your ORCID ID with SciENcv so you can import your ORCID data directly into SciENcv rather than retyping all of your information manually. The process differs slightly between NIH and NSF, so we will cover both. So, what is ORCID? The basis of ORCID is the ORCID ID, a free, unique, persistent identifier for individuals that looks something like this. Your ORCID ID distinguishes you from other individuals, despite any changes that might occur over the course of your career. For example, if your name changes or if you change location, your ORCID ID will stay the same. Many research funders and publishers are increasingly requiring ORCID IDs, and there are several resources available that go into more depth on what ORCID is and how it can benefit you. See the links below for more information. An ORCID ID links to a corresponding ORCID record, which can contain information about you similar to what you would see on a CV or resume. You can think of ORCID kind of like a next-generation CV. Rather than updating a static Word document with your information, you can use your ORCID record as a persistent, reliable way to keep track of your achievements, contributions, and affiliations throughout your career, despite any changes in name, institutional affiliation, area of study, or location. The ORCID record allows you to tie all of your information together in one place to make sure that you get credit for your work. Information on your ORCID record can include biographical information, other names you may have used, and keywords related to your area of study, past and current employment information, education and qualifications, invited positions and distinctions, memberships and service, funding you have received, and works such as publications. You can either add all of this information to your ORCID record yourself, or you can allow organizations that you are affiliated with to add information to your ORCID record for you if their systems are ORCID enabled. A growing number of publishers, funders, and employers, like universities, are integrating their systems with ORCID so they can add information to your ORCID record for you, as well as read data directly from your ORCID record, so you don't have to fill out forms over and over again when publishing, applying for grants, or reporting on research activity, for example. SciENcv is one of the platforms that is integrated with the ORCID API, allowing researchers to transfer data from their ORCID record into SciENcv by clicking a button, rather than having to retype everything manually into SciENcv. This is one of the ways that ORCID can benefit you. As long as you have data populated within your ORCID record, you can save time and reduce your administrative burden when doing your SciENcv Biosketch. Because SciENcv and many other systems are integrated with ORCID in this way, ORCID is basically a central hub and a recommended place to keep track of all of your affiliations and activities. So, how do we populate data in ORCID? To get started, if you don't already have an ORCID ID, the first thing you'll want to do is register for one at orcid.org/register. It takes about 30 seconds. You'll need to fill in your name, email address, a password, some default visibility settings, notification settings, terms of use, and confirm that you're not a robot. A note about the default visibility settings. The options are everyone, trusted parties, and only me. Everyone means anyone on the internet can see your data. Trusted parties means only individuals and organizations that you designate as trusted parties can see your data. Only me means that data is private. To use ORCID with SciENcv, you need to make sure that the data you want in your ORCID record is set to either everyone or trusted parties. If you already have an ORCID record, you'll log in to ORCID by going to orcid.org/login. In order to transfer data from ORCID to SciENcv, the main data points in ORCID that transfer over differ slightly between NIH and NSF. For the NIH Biosketch, you'll want to make sure you have your biography, employment, education, works, and funding information filled out in ORCID. For the NSF Biosketch, you'll want to have your biography and keywords, employment, education, and works. The NSF Biosketch is not yet importing funding information from ORCID. There is a separate current and pending grant awards document that NSF will ask for. You can also designate a trusted individual to make updates and add information to your ORCID record for you. You can do this by going to the Account Settings tab of your ORCID record as shown here. Scroll down to the Trusted Individuals section and search for the name of the person that you want to designate as a trusted individual. This person must have their own ORCID ID in order to be a trusted individual. When you find the person you're looking for, click the Add button. Then when that person goes to log in to their own ORCID record, they'll also be able to see yours and make changes to your ORCID record as well. Now let's get started adding data in ORCID. The two main areas needed for NIH and NSF are the biography and the keywords. To make edits to these sections, you'll click on the little pen or pencil icon next to each section, and then you can enter your biography and you can enter keywords one at a time. Make sure to click Save Changes when you're done. To add employment information, go to the Employment section of your ORCID record and click Add Employment. In the box that appears, start typing the name of your organization and a drop-down will appear. Select your organization from the drop-down and some initial organization data will be populated for you as you see on the left-hand side. You'll then need to just fill out your department, your title, and your employment dates. Repeat this process for as much of your employment history as you can and click Add to List for each time. To add education information to ORCID, go to the Education and Qualifications section and click Add Education. In the box that pops up, type your organization name and select your organization from the drop-down that appears. Your initial organization information will be populated for you as you see on the left side of the screen. Then you'll just need to fill in the department, the degree, and your dates of education. Click Add to the List and continue to add this for all of your education history. To add your works to your ORCID record, you'll go to the Works section and click Add Works. You'll notice that there are multiple different ways that you can add works to your ORCID record. Of course, you can always add any of the information manually. That process will take a little bit longer as you would have to type everything in. There are also other options for adding by DOI, for example, or importing from a big tech file. The links below go into more detail for all of the different ways to add works to ORCID. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to just talk about the search and link option. If you click on Search and Link, a list of databases will appear. All of these databases have been integrated with ORCID. So if you have works in any of these databases, you can search for your works, select them, and claim them to your ORCID record without having to manually type in all of your works information. The Crossref metadata search and the DataCite search and link wizards are highlighted here because these are the two search and link wizards that also allow for auto updates. So if you publish in the future, you might be able to have those future publications added to your ORCID record for you. Crossref and DataCite really only apply to works that have DOIs or digital object identifiers. Most academic and scholarly journals do provide DOIs for journal articles. I will show an example using Crossref. If we click on the Crossref listing, First, we will be asked to authorize Crossref as a trusted organization on our ORCID record. Go ahead and click Authorize. You'll see that a search appears looking for your first and last name. When you find a work that looks like it is something that you actually contributed to and that this work belongs to you, you would click Add to ORCID. It will ask you to confirm if you want to add this work to your ORCID record, and you'll click Yes. Then the status will change to say that this work is now in your ORCID record. When you go back to your ORCID record, you can see that the work has been added via Crossref metadata search. So you just saved time and avoided having to type all of this information in yourself. The process works the same for all of the search and link wizards. To add funding for the NIH Biosketch, you'll go to the funding section of your ORCID record, click Add Funding, and for funding, you can also add funding manually, but the funding section also has one search and link wizard called the Dimensions Wizard. You can go ahead and click on Dimensions Wizard, authorize permission for Dimensions Wizard to add information to your ORCID record for you, and then you'll be taken to a search page where you can either search for your funding based on your first and last name or by your grant title. To search based on name, you would just type in your first and last names into the search boxes and click Find by Name. To search by grant title, you can either type in the title of your grant, or if you don't remember the title, you can type in some keywords and then click Find by Title. A list of related grants will appear below. You'll find the ones that are yours and use the check boxes next to your grants to select those grants to have them added to your ORCID record. You'll then need to scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the Next button. You'll be asked to review your selections, and once you confirm that these grants are correct and they belong to you, you click Submit to ORCID. You'll then receive a confirmation saying that you have successfully linked your grants to your ORCID record. When you go back to your ORCID record, you can see your funding appear via Dimensions Wizard. So again, you've saved time and you don't have to type this information in manually if you have funding listings in the Dimensions Wizard. So now we're going to cover how to link your ORCID record with SciENcv for the NIH Biosketch. To get started, you'll go to the SciENcv homepage and click the blue button that says Click here to start. You'll be asked to sign in to NCBI. If you click on the See More Third-Party Sign-In options, you'll notice that ORCID is listed as a sign-in option. So if we click ORCID, we'll be asked to sign into the ORCID record if you're not already signed in, and then authorize NCBI to connect with your ORCID record. Then you can either create a new NCBI account, or you can link to an existing NCBI account and click Continue. Once you're logged in to My NCBI, the SciENcv section is down at the bottom, and you can click here to create a new SciENcv. You'll fill out the information to create a new document, and if you're doing this for NIH, make sure to select NIH Biosketch in the Format section. In the Choose Data Source section, make sure that you click External Source and select ORCID as your external source. Then click Create. You will notice that all of your information from your ORCID record has been automatically transferred into your SciENcv for you. Here is highlighted the Education and Training section, which reflects education information listed on your ORCID record. The personal statement will be your biography from your ORCID record. And the positions and honors will be your employment information from your ORCID record. Note that you can delete any of this information or edit it once it's in SciENcv. So if there are entries that are in ORCID that you don't want to have in SciENcv, or if there's some sort of typo or mistake, you can make edits and delete entries once the data is imported into SciENcv. When you go to add citations, you'll also see that ORCID is a tab in the citations section. So if you click on that ORCID tab, you'll see all of your works from your ORCID record listed there. And then you can use the check boxes next to each of the works listed to select which citations you want to have appear on your SciENcv, and then click Save Citations. You'll then need to fill out some of the other sections of the NIH SciENcv. Note especially that in section C, the contribution to science, when you click Edit Section, there's an option to select citations, and again, if you click on Select Citations, ORCID will also appear as an option for importing citations, and you'll go through the same process of using the checkboxes to select which citations you want to have appear in this section of SciENcv, and then click Save Citations. Also, in the additional information section, you can also click the ORCID tab here, and this will show you all of the funding awards that are listed in your ORCID record. You can, similarly to the citations, use the checkbox next to the funding that you want to have show up on your SciENcv, and then click Done. Once all of your information looks good in SciENcv, you can download it to a PDF, and you're ready to submit that along with your grant proposal. Now we're going to cover how to link ORCID with SciENcv for the NSF Biosketch. To get started, go to the SciENcv homepage and click on the blue button that says Click Here to Start. You'll be asked to sign in to NCBI. If you click on See More Third-Party Sign-In Options, you'll notice that ORCID is listed as a sign-in option. So go ahead and click on ORCID. Once you sign in, you'll be asked to authorize NCBI as a trusted organization on your ORCID record. So go ahead and do that. Then you can either create a new NCBI account or link to an existing NCBI account. Once you're logged in to My NCBI, you'll see the SciENcv section down at the bottom, and click here to create a new SciENcv. Fill out the information to create a new document, and if this is for an NSF Biosketch, make sure that the format selected is NSF Biosketch. And in the Choose Data Source section, you'll want to make sure you select External Source and click ORCID as your external source. Then click Create. You'll notice that all of your information from your ORCID record has been automatically transferred over to your SciENcv for you. In Section A, Professional Preparation, this will reflect your education information from your ORCID record. Section B, Appointments, will reflect your employment information from your ORCID record. In Section D, Synergistic Activities, you'll see that your biography from your ORCID record has been imported, as well as any keywords that you entered in your ORCID record. Note that you can always edit these entries and make changes once that data is imported from ORCID. In Section C, Products, this is where you will add citations. If you click on the Select Citations, you'll see that ORCID appears as an option. So click on the ORCID tab and then use the checkboxes next to each citation to select which citations from your ORCID record you want to have appear on your NSF SciENcv Biosketch. Then click Save Citations. Once everything looks good in your Biosketch, you can download to a PDF and submit along with your NSF grant proposal. Note that you can manage your ORCID connection in your NCBI account settings by clicking on your account name up at the top right-hand corner where the arrow is pointing. Then you'll see your NCBI account settings, and under the linked account section, you'll see ORCID. You can also designate other individuals to make changes to your SciENcv for you, and that's called delegates. So in the delegate section, you can add a delegate, which is another individual who can manage your SciENcv for you. If you have any questions or you're looking for additional information about what we covered today, look at the links below. We have several links to all sorts of additional information that can help you with your ORCID record and with SciENcv. Thank you and good luck.